The Israeli army says that it's retrieved the bodies of 6 hostages from Gaza's southern district of Khan Younis in a joint operation with its internal security agency. A statement from the Hostages Families Forum says that the recovery of the bodies crucially provides their families with necessary closure. The immediate return of the remaining 109 hostages can only be achieved through a negotiated deal, it adds. Well, this comes as the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has travelled to Egypt as he continues to push for a ceasefire and hostage release deal. These follow talks in Jerusalem yesterday where Mr. Blinken said that Israel had accepted what he called a bridging proposal, and he then urged Hamas to do the same. Well, a little earlier, we were joined by our correspondent, John Donaldson, who shared his insight on this.
Yes, well, in a short statement from the Israeli military and also Israel's intelligence agency, the Shin Bet, they said that the 6 bodies were recovered in Khan Younis in the south of the Gaza Strip. The 6 bodies were Yagev Buchshtab, Alexander Dancyg, Avraham Munder, Yoram Metzger, Haim and Nadav Popplewell, who was a British Israeli citizen, and all apart from 79-year-old Avraham Munder were already presumed to be dead. It's thought there are up to 70 hostages who are still alive being held in Gaza, and in the last few moments we've had a statement from Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who of course has faced considerable criticism from some hostage families for not doing enough to free those who are being held, and he said, "Our hearts grieve over this terrible loss."
And this grim news comes as there was hope that some kind of bridging proposal for a ceasefire deal would be taking some form of shape. Antony Blinken, the US Secretary of State, who is now in Egypt hoping to push that forward, seemed a little bit more optimistic than arguably Benjamin Netanyahu when it comes to this bridging proposal.
He did, but I think the truth is that the Americans and Antony Blinken are the only ones who seem to be saying that this deal is close. He said in his statement after meeting Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday that Israel had accepted and supported this so-called bridging proposal to get to a ceasefire and hostage release deal. Mr. Netanyahu, in his statement, was far less forthcoming. He simply said it had been a good and important meeting with Mr. Blinken. And Hamas, for its part, has also been sceptical. They, of course, are not even taking part in these latest ceasefire negotiations at the moment. They've said any suggestion that there has been progress is an illusion. Now, as you say, Mr. Blinken is in Egypt today and then later Qatar, and he's going to be getting those 2 countries to continue to put pressure on Hamas to sign up to this deal. But I think the truth is that while the Americans might be working towards a certain timetable, I think they'd like to get a deal done while the Democratic Convention is taking place at the moment, and certainly before the US presidential election in November. I don't think that the key players in the region, and that is Prime Minister Netanyahu and the Hamas leader in Gaza, Yahya Sinwar, there's no sense really that they are working to the same timetable.
John Donaldson there reporting from Jerusalem there. Antony Blinken, of course, right now in Egypt. So as and when we get more details, we're just monitoring the live shot there. But as and when we get more details, we'll, of course, bring that to you.